minutes of our meeting, which was on June the 1st of the Executive Committee. Is there any corrections or additions? Give you a minute to look at them.
I move to be accepted as written.
Suggested move to be approved as presented.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? If not, all those let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed is no. Motion's carried. Reports from the city.
Several things to talk about this morning. First, I think we've all noticed with some excitement, TCAT is coming out of the ground pretty quickly now that we're out of the way, and Dye Street is going to look a lot different very shortly, but they're putting up the steel framework for the TCAT expansion now, and it appears that everything is on track and on schedule. Looking at some TDOT projects out on the west end around our Maid Park. We've got several things that TDOT's about to pick up. They've awarded bids to APAC to do 5 projects in that area. 2 of the most significant will be a traffic signal at the exit of Maid at Commerce and West AJ. That'll be the first piece that they'll pick up. Then on the other end of Commerce, at Commerce and 160, they'll go in and construct J-turns. They had some problems with the airport approach, and they couldn't put signals on that intersection. They've had a pre-construction conference with the contractor. They got an environmental meeting this month. They should begin to mobilize on those projects in the next couple of weeks. On the city side, we're going out to bid. We've already advertised our bids for our resurfacing project there on West AJ from Crescent Center down to Morris. That should be, bid opening should be on the 18th of this month. We're hoping we can get through the TDOT red tape to get that one under construction late summer, but it will be spring before the project is complete. Our long delayed transit system, the fixed route bus system, is about to get ready to go. We hope to begin to see some of that this month. That's going to help people get around to places to shop, places to work, and I'm very excited about that system getting off the ground. Playing our local amateur economist, we've got some really unusual circumstances when you start to look at the local economy. If you look at our metropolitan area, the region, unemployment rate is 9.4% from the last report. Inside the city, it's 10%. Even though we've got those kinds of unemployment numbers, our sales tax numbers are up. You look at that and you say, what's going on? And the big answer is federal stimulus dollars. Those one-time checks, those $600 unemployment checks, is what's driving the cash registers. If you pay attention to the news, you see that Congress is bickering about what they're going to do and how it's going to happen. Those $600 checks have expired. If people don't go back to work here soon, we're going to see a major change in the way that we're able to fund local government. I think longer term, if you look at city versus some of the surrounding counties, more and more sales tax dollars are going to shift to counties with the internet sales and the way we're allocating those costs. So long term, this group, or at least the people that will replace us in this group in the not too distant future, is going to have to figure out how we fund economic development, industrial development in a region where the city, who's been footing a lot of the bill in the past, no longer has the sales tax dollars to do so. We're going to need more regional cooperation. Surrounding counties are going to have to buy in, or we're simply not going to be able to do in the future what we've done in the past. So that's my happy news for the morning.
On the TCAT, I was talking to Jerry Young this past week, and the construction of the facility seems to be going well, but one concern that he has is about $3.5 to $4 million that they think they have appropriated, and I want to say that they think they have appropriated. But basically, it's for the equipment and the furnishing, if you want to put it that way, that goes in the building that they're building. I think the bill, I think it was in the Board of Regents bill of allocations, but it apparently wasn't designated specifically, as I understand it from Jerry, for this TCAT, because they didn't know when they was gonna let the contract. He thinks it's okay, but the reason I mention that to you, if you happen to see Sutherland or our representative, you might want to make sure that if they're in Nashville, for any reason, if they check to see exactly where that is. Jerry's trying to find out, but sometimes our money gets lost there.
Yeah.
In Nashville. But that's very important. It's an allocation of about $3.5 to $4 million. Any questions, Tony? Okay. Bill?
I guess the top of the list is the mask mandate that I issued over the weekend, effective tomorrow through August 29th. It's just the next step in our fight against the coronavirus, try to limit its growth. County has canceled some events, postponed some events to try to avoid large crowds gathering. August 22nd, we are going to open the time capsule in the front yard of the courthouse. We've delayed that till the spring. Then the 150th anniversary celebration we had for Labor Day weekend has been canceled. Testing is ongoing at the health department. Start of school's been delayed until September the 8th. We passed our budget, maintained our services, 3-cent property tax increase for debt service to pay for the Justice Center project and West High School renovation. As Tony mentioned, the revenues are steady, unemployment in the low 9%. And then one thing that you might look on YouTube to watch, there's a video about Rosie's Girls. It's called Rosie's Girls. It's a program that was part of the GIVE grant that TCAT is administering. It was a CTE boot camp for 8 rising freshman girls who got hands-on experience with welding and some industrial electricity, and they completed a project during the boot camp. And so go on YouTube and watch that video. It's a really good program for those girls. And that's it.
Any questions of Bill? Somebody want to talk about schools opening? That's scheduled for, it was postponed. I think, what's the date, September 8th? From early August. There was a big, long article in the paper yesterday from Dr. Perry concerning that. Anybody want to make any comments, ask any questions?
I've not followed it all. What did they say about sports? I know contact sports are allowed, and the order said something about following the TSSAA rules, but that's as far as I went. Does anybody know? East-West game I heard was scheduled for TV, so,
I know Dr. Perry talked about that at one of the task force meetings, and he said the governor came out with the rule of contact sports, but TSSAA hadn't discussed it. And Perry said that people were posting, East-West game was on, and he said they were a long way away from that. So I don't know that TSSAA's given the guidance yet.
It came out on the schedule that the East-West game was on for, I wanna tell you, and I don't hold me to the date, but it was the last of August.
yeah. I
Talked to
saw-
Dr. Lynch yesterday, who's now the director of the Tennessee Organization of School Superintendents. He told me, this was yesterday morning, that the governor's issue on contact sports or AOK caught the TSSAA completely off guard. That this was not what their plans were. They had option A, option B, and a third option. And the governor's declaration met none of those three. And they're gonna have to regroup and decide what they should do. And he said it was, they were completely caught off guard, because I thought they may have lobbied the governor to do that. And that it was exactly the opposite.
I was just surprised. I saw something on television. It was the Thursday night rivalry game of the week coming up sometime in August, and I didn't know we were that far along.
Yeah, I think it elicits lots of cheers
They've
from
not
football
practiced yet,
fans.
have they? They've not even practiced yet. It's gonna be interesting to see the product on the field.
I think they start non-contact practice this morning,
That's
but,
correct.
but, I think it generated cheers from the football fans, but a lot of groans from healthcare officials. So we'll see how that plays out. I think we know how that's gonna play out, but,
As far as school academics are concerned, and I don't know, maybe somebody on the bill or you, the mayor, but one of the mayors may know, but for example, there's been several items on the wire, AP wire, about what not many, very few, but one or two of the school systems are doing to try to prepare for the opening of the schools, and some of them have, some states have had long training for the faculty, for particularly the digital type, 3 and 4 weeks. Have we done anything like that in Tennessee?
They've done a lot of training this summer. They've done a lot of training this summer with teachers and developing curriculum for online schools. They're preparing for, last number I heard, they had about 2,200 students that were registered for online.
And they had some training session even with parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
With parents?
Yes,
And, of course, that's in Hammond County. And in far as, do you have any idea what the smaller counties are doing out there,
I don't.
or anybody?
You know, the big issue will be availability to Wi-Fi and internet access in the rural counties. That'll be the big issue. That's an issue here in certain areas.
Well, any other questions or concerns? Marshall?
So last time I reported, we had 457 players registered for the State Disc Golf Open. Those players came, and about 70% of those came from out of town. That led to a $200,000 direct local impact, and what I've told before, we don't take the Sevier County. If one person goes to Dollywood, we multiply it by 3 because that's how much money they guess they'll spend. We take directly what they spent. Here's what they spent on a hotel room, here's what they reported to us they spent on meals. We take those local taxes, and that 200,000 is what was local only. So we do no multiplier effect or none of these fluff numbers. These are real numbers reported from the players. Results in that, what we're seeing was hotel occupancy for that week was up 70% as well. So that's kind of to be expected. The tournament went real well. Of course, the guys wore masks when they were around the group, but most of them, you know, you're out in the woods playing disc golf, you're pretty socially distanced. So we're looking at other ways to do events like that. We're fortunate here with the lake and, you know, the woods and what we've done. We're able to do some of those outdoor activities. We're not cramming people in outlet malls or theme parks. So it's a little easier for us to do. I think we did have, maybe last weekend, mountain bike trail run by Dirty Bird Events. You probably heard Ann talk about this before. Had a few hundred attendees as well. And those are like professional mountain bike things. So we're trying to strategize on how to do more, you know, events like that for outdoors. We talked about lot 12 last time, and that's our 85-acre pad, and the grading continues there. I see the reports, you know, quite often, and they're running into that issue as well. You know, if someone's getting an extra $600 a week on top of what they were already getting, they can't get people to run the machines. So it's kind of, you know, we help one, we'll hurt the other, we'll kill our sales tax. But our industries are saying each of them are trying to hire 50 to 100, nobody will come back to work. And those people can be reported through unemployment and get their benefits taken away, but that takes a month or 2 to get through the system. We did have a call with Marcia Blackburn, and interestingly, she said, and I'm hoping she's right on this, that when this is all over, the people that received extra benefits after they were reported will have to repay those benefits, and they will get shocked by that. So I'm hoping that sticks, and some of these people that thought they were getting a free ride gets a nice bill or gets hammered on their taxes. So, you know, our community is a community that works, and with every industry in town hiring, you know, we need our people back to work. It's hard when your government incentivizes people not to work. So, you know, our businesses are advocates of people actually working for their money and earning it. So that's what's going on there. Hopefully this next year we see some significant housing growth. I think that'll be a way that we can help offset hopefully some of this sales tax loss through new property taxes. So, you know, right now we're looking at 500 to 700 new units in the next year, which is exciting. We need that in the community, and if you see what house prices are doing, the demand is definitely there. So you see houses a few years ago that sold for $100,000, now selling for $200,000, and it's unbelievable in our community to see a jump like that. But that just tells you the demand's there. Industrially, we've had multiple site submissions, building submissions. The challenge right now is no one's coming to visit. You know, nobody wants to get on an airplane or come out and visit. We did kind of turn one down last week. It was a decent project, good investment, but they didn't need to be near anyone because they produced a sulfur smell. And I thought, we've got enough smells. We can do without something dirty. So we're careful on the ones we submit on. We want to make sure they'll be a good corporate citizen in the community and, you know, good. So we turn away a few. 66, Highway 66 project's ongoing, and if you guys have seen that, it's getting very close. The new road where 4 lanes is open is really nice. And then Lowland, this one we've talked about before and got reported to TDEC for talking about it in here. But what TDEC went out and found, and I may have told this group, they found that Sam Furrow was spending a lot of money correcting issues out there. So Sam had spent over $2 million. He's really fixed up his building and had been doing that for a while. I actually went and toured it. He's painting, new LED lighting. The previous owners had left environmental issues he was cleaning up. So on July 23rd, Sam received TDEC's highest award for a private citizen. It's the Environmental Stewardship Award. And through that, Sam called last week and may be willing to invest a little more out there. And I think, you know, for that site, that's, the more we can get people like that that's responsible, investing out there and doing the right thing, we're gonna try to encourage that. So, we're trying to help him find some prospects for his building as well. He's got about 500,000 square feet available right now. The challenge there is, you know, on site, Inca made their own water, treated their wastewater, and made their own power. We do have wastewater, we have water, we have power, but we don't have enough water flow for fire protection. So while you can store things out there, it's kind of hard to manufacture things. And if we're gonna utilize the site, we'd like to get the best use out of it. So trying to strategize, if we get him that prospect, can we get grants for a water tank, or how do we make that happen? So that'll be our next step out there, and hopefully seeing that site redevelop in a good way. That's all I have, unless anybody has questions.
So let me see if I understand what you're saying right. As the result of a phone call from here to report exit 12 to TDEC, TDEC showed up and actually were impressed with what was going
Yeah,
on.
so I mentioned.
And actually gave an award and
Yes.
commendation to Mr. Furrow for his work.
So I mentioned in the meeting some asbestos in some of the buildings out there. And it was reported to TDEC, there's asbestos, you know, TDEC and EPA's been all over the site. Everything on that site is labeled, tagged. If it's asbestos, it's tagged and has to be handled, and TDEC checks that. So TDEC thought something new was going on. So they went out, and what they found was a guy doing it the right way, spending a lot of money.
Well, that's good.
So, yeah. It's good to see some outside investment out there that's pretty.
I'm glad to see that TDEC saw that that things are being done the correct way.
Yes.
That's good news.
Any prospects on the Grace building?
I agree.
The Grace?
Which one's Grace?
Trelleborg.
Trelleborg. I'm used to calling it Trelleborg. Yes,
Trailer board.
yeah, Grace building. I'll call it Grace and you call it Trelleborg. So that's 130,000 square feet, is that right, Jody?
I think so.
130,000 square foot building in the airport park. Trelleborg made plastic sheets kind of for the print industry. And as that use has went down, they've consolidated. They still want to keep 30,000 square feet somewhere in town for some of the equipment they use that still produces. Right now, we do have an appraisal, and it's under contract, but it's not closed yet, from an unnamed company. So, nothing we actually have to do a lot on, or be probably a company moving out of Virginia.
We don't know what they make.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do. Any other questions? From anybody? Okay. Any other business come forward? Group? Questions from anybody? Okay, Chair Lynn will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
So move. Anybody object? No order.
Next meeting, the first Monday's Labor Day. Have we already set that and I just didn't pay attention?
Yes, it'll be, September,
The following Monday?
no, it's when it's.
14.
Did those people get that?
Oh, I see. She's
Yes,
got it. She moved it to Tuesday. I just
September
gotta read my calendar all the way. Tuesday.
1st is
Yeah.
a
Did we,
Tuesday,
did
yeah.
we get any pictures, anything?
I haven't seen it. I asked Sam if he could send us some, but I haven't seen any yet.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm supposed to know, I just hadn't looked. I'll look for Mondays.
I know.